Your priorities are backwards, and it just shows that your health is not a priority. How is that supposed to be attractive to a man that takes care of himself? You need to prioritize and start acting and living out as your higher self. Your dream woman, the queen of queens of who you are, is not waking up groggy. She's not waking up lagging. She's not waking up in a mood or always irritable. She is waking up like grateful for life, that God keeps filling up her lungs. So many of you guys are so ungrateful. You wake up and you don't even appreciate life. I don't see how any thriving man is going to find you sexually attractive or just attractive in general if you are constantly lagging behind with no stamina, no endurance, low energy, no motivation, no ambition. Do you get what I'm saying? That's really not attractive. So hello, beautiful people. In today's video, we are going to be talking about 10 unhealthy habits that are making women very unattractive, lazy, and less desirable. And I'm gonna also give you the solutions on how to fix that immediately. If you are meeting me for the first time, welcome. And for all of my people returning, I just love hugging you guys, and one day it will be in person. Hello and welcome. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn your post notification bells on so you do not miss any of my videos. Now in today's video, we are going to be talking about how women become undesirable, especially as we are aging. I think a lot of the times we like to blame it on our age, but let's be honest, being lazy, undesirable, and unattractive is honestly going to come down to your daily habits and your mindset. And so today I'm going to point out 10 unhealthy habits that we need to change immediately. Starting off with one common unhealthy habit is going to be a lack of physical activity. I was in the gym earlier today and there was another black girl in the gym and it was just two of us. I went up to her and introduced myself and we got to talking. The vibes were high. I wanted to just introduce myself. I know we are the minority in the gym, not just as women, but as black women in the gym. And she had brought up that back home, whether it's in Africa, Jamaica, the islands, working out with weights, especially in the gym, is not a common thing. So I feel like a lot of the times, based on how we were raised, how our parents were raised, we haven't really grown, especially if you are in America, to incorporate weight training and just physical movement into your day-to-day. Now, if you look around you, it's so easy to be complacent, comfortable, and choose convenience. You can Uber Eats anything, you can Uber anywhere. You don't have to walk so far. We drive everywhere. Whereas in the islands and back home in certain countries, people are still walking with their groceries. People are still walking to the markets, walking everywhere. They're physically constantly moving. And if you look in America, whether it's Canada or the United States, a lot of women just lack physical activity in general. Now, here are some signs. A lot of women are commonly facing low energy, poor self-discipline, and lack of investment when it comes to your health. There are going to be visible signs and visible effects when you are not prioritizing your physical health. Many women suffer with poor posture, gaining excess body fat or gaining excess weight, muscle loss, a sluggish body language, and so much more. Lack of motivation, procrastination, unhealthy eating habits. When you are maneuvering through your life and you should be flourishing as a woman, no man or just people around you that are thriving or taking care of themselves is going to find anyone attractive that has constant low energy, lack of motivation, procrastinates, or is just honestly just overall lazy and doesn't take care of their overall health. Men often associate movement and vitality with youthfulness and fertility. These are key subconscious attraction triggers. Tons of women have high expectations and even a list of requirements for a man, their dream man. And on that list, that man usually is healthy, well-groomed, takes care of himself, smells good, he's fit, he doesn't need to be too buff, he doesn't need to be a bodybuilder, but he does need to be healthy. So you have this list for men, yet you can't even stick to the list that you require from a man, and you can't even show up for yourself. A lot of you guys want healthy men and you are unhealthy. A lot of you guys want better relationships, especially if you're single. You're trying to attract the best quality men, yet you do not even invest in your physical health. Forget about the physical appearance of looking good, doing all of this makeup, filters, lip injections, getting your boobs done or getting a BBL. Forget about the physical, the outside aesthetics. How you take care of your health is one of the highest forms of self-respect. And I find that to be so attractive. And the men that I attract, they are not intimidated by my health. They are not intimidated by how I look, how I take care of myself, how I train, how I come across. Because when I'm in the gym, I do feel like my alpha side comes out more because I'm more of an aggressive trainer. However, most real men that see value, men that see health as a priority, they are never intimidated by a strong, physically strong woman who takes care of herself and sees worth and value in her physical health. So whether you are single, married, or dating, it's time to amp it up and just start taking care of yourself. Whether you are first starting out and you want to do walks every single day, give yourself a step goal. Now, if you want to, add some muscle, because as we age, ladies, like losing muscle. So it's really important to weight train, not just Pilates, but also train with physical weights that are going to apply pressure to your muscles. You want to have some strong muscle. You want to have muscle density, especially as you're aging. I witnessed my dad decrease in muscle density in the hospital because of what they fed him. Also, so important to prioritize high protein meals. You've heard it before, and you've heard so many times that it's so important to prioritize your physical health. Stop just listening to these things and start actually applying them into your life. Start doing the research instead of just constantly scrolling, distracting your brain from what truly matters, the longevity of your health. We are not doing it for men. We are not doing it for anyone else. We're not doing it for a flex. You are doing it so you can become the best version of yourself. The real glow up is when you can become a healthier, happier, and hotter version of yourself. And also increase in knowledge and wisdom, not the physical appearance. That is just a plus. Moving on to number 2, another habit that is really unattractive, lazy, and makes you honestly less desirable. It's going to be constantly eating junk food and not cooking. This honestly just shows disinterest in nurturing yourself and others. Most women are walking around inflamed, bloated, poor skin, low energy, and a dull complexion. Baby, you could glow differently and have so much more energy and burst in confidence if you actually ate. Who told you that a woman was to be out here eating like a hamster? Oftentimes, especially working with women, I hear women either say that they forget to eat or they were in a rush first thing in the morning because their nighttime routine is quite off. You are up scrolling or doing something very useless. And then when you woke up first thing in the morning, you had no time to eat. So you just went through a drive-through, you ate one meal from the drive-through, worked the entire day, and then came home and just emotionally ate throughout the evening and then went to bed. And then it just becomes a toxic cycle. And then you're wondering why you have low energy, no motivation to go for a simple walk. You have no energy no mental clarity, no energy to weight train and build the body of your dreams. Because listen, you do not need to look like me as a trainer and no fitness influencer, nobody. But you need to be building on your body. You should be adding to your health and not taking away your health. I always have clients that are like, oh, I forgot to eat. Yet you never miss any of my stories. You can update me, you can update your man about, oh, this is happening in the world or what you saw or comparing yourself to people online. Yet you missed a meal. Your priorities are backwards, and it just shows that your health is not a priority. How is that supposed to be attractive to a man that takes care of himself and also wants you to be able to take care of him or even his children? Men tend to admire women who take care of themselves, who are self-caring and capable in the home and when they're not at home, when a man is not around. So especially if you're single, you should be working on taking better care of yourself and prioritizing meals, getting in food, even breaking your food down into increments of smaller meals is also going to allow your body to digest your food properly. Make sure to count your macros. My girls in the 6-week challenge, they are learning their food, their mindset, their business, empowerment, confidence, physical training, absolutely everything they are learning, because on here we do 360 transformation. FYI, I know so many people are asking, can they still join this challenge? Unfortunately, no, but good thing we are doing another challenge in September. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the link the first week of August, so just stay tuned for that. I've mentioned it before, I didn't grow up with the nutrition habits and knowledge that I have now, and I get it. Many people are gonna grow up wanting to become a nutritionist, a naturopath, a personal trainer, anything to do with fitness and health. And you're not going to be around people that are this knowledgeable to help you and guide you. That is why it's so important that if you know nothing and you're struggling, to see investing in a coach as an investment for changing your entire life. A lot of you guys are just spending this money on nothing. Clothes you don't even like what you look like in, food that doesn't even make you feel that great, and drinks, cannabis, all of these things that don't give you mental clarity. So you need to actually see what you're spending your money on and why you haven't invested in a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a naturopath, or me to change your life. Just think about it. You having low energy constantly, you need to think about what you are currently doing, eating, absorbing, how you are living, for why you constantly are in this cycle of depression, anxiety, being inflamed, gaining weight. This is not about, oh, I'm going through menopause or I'm getting older. This is literally, look at your eating habits. Do you even move? Last night on my Zoom call with my ladies, I had asked them before this challenge, what did your meals look like? What were you eating before you started this program? How many steps were you averaging before this program? Were you weight training? Were you working out? Were you building muscles? What did your physical routine look like before this program? So do not ask me how you can thrive as a woman if you do not know what you ate yesterday, or if you are not eating food, you're eating like a bird or a hamster and wondering how to thrive as a woman. Eat food. Your body, your hormones, your gut needs healthy quality food. I'm not talking about 1,500 calories from one burger or a croissant. I'm talking about 16 to 2,000 calories minimum from whole foods that you eat throughout the day. Okay, and you don't need to have 5 or 6 meals. You can eat like 2 meals and a snack, or 2 meals, a snack, and a shake. There are so many ways around it. If you sign up for my program, you will definitely learn how to do this. Another unhealthy habit that makes women lazy, unattractive, and less desirable, number 3, mindless screen time. Too many women, when I ask them, like, what does your nighttime routine look like? Give me the answer that they came home, they were exhausted, they had low energy, just depleted because, again, you weren't feeding yourself throughout the day or moving enough, or just around good energy, or you just didn't have good energy yourself. But how can you have good energy if you're not really taking care of yourself physically and also in the nutrition department? You're not gonna feel good about yourself. And then you're gonna be around bad energy, toxic people, toxic habits, right? So a lot of women are coming home, they're so mentally drained, checked out, and they're just scrolling, just in this cycle of scrolling. Is that really attractive when you are the girlfriend or the wife or the mother of someone's children and you are just constantly scrolling, doing nothing to add to yourself, but comparing yourself to the people on the internet, or wanting what they have, wanting their life, wanting to travel, wishfully thinking, but not actually taking the time to fill yourself up and actually have healthier coping mechanisms. So this is another thing that we were talking about on our Zoom call as well. You need to have healthier coping mechanisms when you feel depleted. So one of the girls had mentioned that on her rest day throughout the week, she decided to do a hot oil treatment on her hair and just take that moment to do a lot of self-care needs for her body to fill her up, because she was feeling depleted from all of the training, all of the steps, and all of this new learning process that they're doing in these 6 weeks. It's like being in school with Sergeant Shen. And so I was like, yes, girl. Like taking a moment to just slow down and doing things, productive things that are going to fill you up and doesn't cost a lot of money. Like taking a longer shower. A lot of women had mentioned that they started to slow down in the midweek so that they could refill their energy. When you come home and you're just scrolling, that is depleting your energy even more when you had no energy to begin with. Signs of this is just escapism, a distraction, or just bad time management, just wasting a bunch of time. And honestly, the visible effects are going to show through your eye strains, poor focus. So many people are like, oh my gosh, I cannot sit through your videos because I have a short attention span. You have a short attention span, babe. Like for men, like quality men that have really good jobs that require them to have a long attention span, and they're bringing in that money, and their wife is at home with just short attention span and like low energy, doesn't take care of themselves, constantly looking for a quick dopamine. Like, how is that attractive? And I'm coming for you if you're like, oh, I only have a short attention span. That is not attractive, babe. Another visible effect is going to be lack of presence in conversations. Look around you. So many people have such a hard time with communicating, with being present in conversations, with listening, because they have a short attention span, or honestly, you're just always looking for a quick dopamine fix and checked out. Constantly scrolling or binge watching is going to feel mentally dull and emotionally unavailable to a man. You want to be present. You also want to know how to care for yourself and have healthier coping mechanisms when you come home from work or you've had a long week. You want to be doing things that fill your energy up so you can be, a good mood, a good vibe, radiate good energy for your man or for your friends, for yourself, for the next day. Constantly scrolling, pay attention. How does it make you feel when you are going to bed way past your bedtime, waking up after 9 a.m.? Grown women that are thriving do not sleep past 8 a.m. Ladies. Number 4, an unhealthy habit that makes a woman unattractive, lazy, and less desirable. A messy environment. Let's talk about having a messy environment. When your environment is messy, your mind, your brain is going to be scattered. You're going to be unorganized, and we don't like that. That's why so many people are running in circles or just constantly banging themselves on the same damn door. This only shows when your environment is messy, chaotic, hectic, disorganized. This just shows that you lack order, self-respect, and self-discipline. The visible effects of this is just going to show disorganized living space, chaotic energy, and poor hygiene. Now let's think about it for a second. Like, how does that make a woman attractive? Okay, you are what you attract. Let's be honest. So if you are constantly in a messy environment, a chaotic environment, you are going to attract just that. Whether it's a relationship or friendships, you are what you attract. And when you are messy and maneuvering through life, chaotic, dysfunctional, disorganized, honestly, it's just a red flag. It's scary to be around. You're very unpredictable, just disorganized. This is something we really want to work at before the end of the year. Whether you are single, married, dating, please, let's work on just organizing absolutely everything. Doesn't need to be to a T, but just show that you care about your health, that you care about your environment where you live. Why does your home look like a shit box? Like you don't value anything on top of not valuing yourself. Because what queen lives in chaos? What queen lives in a messy environment? What queen wakes up after 9 a.m. when she has goals? Men often associate cleanliness and order with femininity and nurturing energy. If you are messy, chaotic, just always stressed and out of place, I'm sure you are not even close to being in a soft, feminine aura. What do you radiate? Honestly, somebody answer that down below. Especially the quality men that are coming from work, from busting their balls, and they just want a clean, healthy meal, a clean home. And honestly, my man has to contribute to a clean home. I'm not cleaning up after you. Communicate that from the jump. So I'm not over here on my fours cleaning this up after anybody. A consistently messy woman can signal laziness and instability. Habit number 5, you've heard this recently. Sleeping in excessively or poor sleep routine. This honestly is just going to show no structure, no goals, and no ambition. When a woman has ambition, and trust me, she don't need to be a CEO, an entrepreneur. She could be a housewife, okay? She could be a mother that is still driven. That is sexy, babe. Waking up with some kind of purpose and not just lagging around thinking that you can just wake up after 9. Because just what human, unless you're lazy and just terrible at your time management, honestly is waking up after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock when you could go for a walk and just take care of yourself. Those are I would say, just lazy. It's honestly unattractive. The visible effects is going to show in grogginess, irritability, dull skin, and weight retention. I keep telling my clients that they need to prioritize their sleep, eat well, and move. That is the only way that they are going to be able to see a transformation. And I make transformations in a week to 2 weeks. You don't need 6 months. You don't even need 3 months. Literally go to sleep. All right. Put away your vices and your distractions and go to sleep. You need to prioritize and start acting and living out as your higher self. Your dream woman, the queen of queens of who you are, is not waking up groggy. She's not waking up lagging. She's not waking up in a mood or always irritable. She is waking up like grateful for life, that God keeps filling up her lungs. So many of you guys are so ungrateful. You wake up and you don't even appreciate life. That's why even if you're not going to write in a journal, practicing gratitude out loud to see that you are blessed, whether you are single, married, or dating, you should get up and just be like, what can I do today that improves my life? And I get it, we're gonna have seasons, especially if you don't have my channel, have access to me, or have these videos. We're gonna have seasons where we feel so alone, where we may feel behind. I have been there before, and that's why I say there is purpose for each one of you guys that has been created. God created you for a certain and specific reason that I can't do. You are here and meant to be here for a reason. And we're gonna have seasons where we are emotionally just out of it, physically out of it. We've lost ourselves, we feel stuck, we feel lost, we feel a lot of emotions that don't allow us to show up as our best self. And that is why therapy works. That's why turning to God and praying and having a great support system, or having a great coach, a personal trainer, a therapist is going to be so beneficial to helping you kickstart your journey to elevation and finding your purpose. Sluggish energy honestly is going to lower your sexual attraction and give off unambitious vibes. I don't see how any thriving man is going to find you sexually attractive or just attractive in general if you are constantly lagging behind with no stamina, no endurance, low energy, no motivation, no ambition. Do you get what I'm saying? That's really not attractive. So if you are single right now, I need you to do all of the steps. Get into the gym. Start moving your body. Start training for internal health. Building your cardiovascular health. So you got stamina. So you got endurance. So baby, in squats, I had a client one time ask me, how do I train to stay up on top? Well, you need really good joints. You need some good legs. And honestly, you can have strong legs even if they're not muscular. You can still go to the gym. But you should be able to train yourself to have stronger knees so they're not hurting. You should honestly just be able to be a badass. And you gotta move your body, you gotta stretch, you gotta take care of yourself. You can even dance, you can go swimming, you can go golfing. I know a lot of you guys can move your body when it's time to go to a party. So why can't you go to the gym and do jump squats? Why can't you pulse and drop it low. The physique is just a perk. It's just a perk. And when you're sleeping, your body gets to transform. If you lack sleep, lack quality food, and physical activity, game over. Let's go. Number 6, baby. Constant complaining and excuses without any action. I can't handle y'all. That is annoying. And I get it. I used to be there when I was in the position of not taking actions. Everything became an excuse. And that was honestly because I was always feeding my limiting beliefs. I was feeding my old self, my old identity. I was feeding the weaker version of myself. The noise, right? My inner dialogue that was trying to save me from my new reality or the reality that I desired. So I always found excuses. I always complained. And I also allowed certain friends to call me complaining. And we would just complain about absolutely everything. And now that I've taken a stance and I take charge of my life, I don't want to hear it. Your life can change overnight based on changing your mind, based on deciding and not choosing, based on a decision and not a choice. Deciding that you only want to become a better version of yourself and saying no to anything that does not align with you or serve you. This honestly is going to signal the victim mentality, passiveness, and emotional immaturity. I like my men grown, but I also love good communicators, whether it's a female or a male. I love a man that is reliable. I love a problem solver. I love somebody who takes initiative and accountability. Did I mention I love when men or just people in general can communicate? I love emotional intelligence, awareness, especially self-awareness. When you're constantly complaining without action, you're only gonna have a negative aura, drained expressions, and frown lines. Ladies, understand that how you build your confidence, your self-esteem is by taking the first step. I also mentioned this in my Zoom call with the ladies because they were asking me, how do you build your self-confidence and your self-esteem? And so I had asked a few moms, how do you reassure your children when they are learning something new? Or, you raise them to be amazing children. You constantly encourage them, right? You push them to take the next step and they continue from crawling to walking. They get a bike and they're like, oh, I'm hesitant. I don't know if I can do it, Mom. But then you reassure them and they get on that bike. They start with training wheels and then eventually they no longer need it. And their confidence is building and building and building. Now, what happened to the adults now when you're so afraid of being confident and reassuring yourself that you're going to be okay, whether you fall or you embarrass yourself? You need to get back up and keep pushing forward. When you only stay stuck, you become negative. You become complacent. You complain and have so many excuses, and it's not attractive. Think about the children. Think about how you reassure your friends, your partner, people, your coworkers. Start to reassure yourself and start thinking better and take action. When you start to take action, you start to build confidence and self-trust. And you also start to show up in integrity when you stand on your word. No man is going to find you attractive if you constantly go against your word, talk down to yourself, belittle yourself, think less of yourself. What man wants an insecure woman that's constantly negative and complaining around them? When I walk into any room, women and men are like, damn, who is this? I don't even speak, baby. I just walk. And my man is usually behind me. And he literally is just always like, I'm so proud of you. Literally, I'm so confident with myself. I'm confident because I stand on my word. I do what I said I was going to do. Witnessed it. If you've been following me, you've witnessed it. Everything I say I'm going to do, I do it. Even if I don't want to do it, even if I'm tired, exhausted, I will always show up. I can count on myself. You are not going to come across with a magnetic energy if you're always constantly complaining or having excuses or distracted by things that hold you back. Which leads to number 7, another unattractive habit that makes women less attractive, less desirable, and lazy, having no hobbies or growth. This is honestly going to show boredom, internal emptiness, and lack of drive. The visible effects are going to show bland energy, bland lagging energy, no depth in conversation, and dependency on others for excitement. Now, how many of you agree that you rely on your friends to do anything or to take the next step with you? You want to go to the gym, so you call up your friend. You want to go for a walk, so you call up your friend. Or you won't go at all if no one's going to go and do it with you. You won't travel, solo travel, because your friends or your partner or your family member needs to come with you. You rely on people for that motivation or that push. You have no goals, no ambition, no strive for more, no growth. That's not going to be attractive. Listen up, ladies. A woman with no interest or purpose can feel energetically heavy or uninspiring. Think about if you have children. What are they watching? What are they witnessing you become? Are they witnessing you slowing down? Let me talk about my single mother my single immigrant mother who raised children on her own in low income, no help, struggling financially, trying to get through school, trying to find jobs that would just cover enough to take care of her children, and never gave up, never put a man first over her children, never prioritizing needing love or needing someone to push her. Those children, me and my siblings, that was her motivation, to just try her best for her children and showcase a strong woman. She don't need to be independent, but she could be driven to change your life. And in turn, she gave us a better life. And in turn, I witnessed a strong mother push through adversity, obstacles, challenges, pain, loss, so much pain, and still won by the grace of God. And still came out and showed me that anything is possible. And especially being born in Canada, I should not take my life for granted, education for granted, building on purpose for granted, for what she has sacrificed for her children, for her family. Many of you guys may even come from immigrant parents or parents who had nothing, right? Maybe you're struggling yourself. You don't have to stay down. You can change your life just by changing your mindset and where you place your attention. What are you absorbing? Don't give up here. You don't need friends, family, a person, a partner to push you. Baby, you have it right here. I was listening to a song and it said God chose all of the sins for each specific person. God knew that we were going to go through certain obstacles, certain challenges, certain sins that are shameful, but we were going to be able to use that as a testimony. We were going to be able to change lives and give God the glory for that transformation, for all of the things you sacrificed, because Jesus sacrificed for us. And God wants you to use your pain and your obstacle as your testimony to change lives, children's lives, to show them that there is strength and power within you. There is purpose within you. It's so important. If you are feeling low energy, low vibes, lost, get yourself into a hobby. Get yourself around empowering people that are doing things to move forward. Right? My 6-week challenge girls, they are killing it. And they are thriving off of each other's energies because they are all working on becoming the better version of themselves. And putting all of them together was the best thing I ever did in 2025, honestly, because these women are transforming rapidly, because they feel a community. They feel so supportive, not just from me, but from other women that are strangers to them, that are showing up like a sister because they needed an environment to be planted in, to be watered, to be nurtured, to be loved on, to be lifted. Find your community, find hobbies, find things that make you come alive again, and don't stop until it just adds to your overflow of transforming your life or transforming your family's life and your reality. Number 8, neglecting basic grooming, baby. Of course, this is gonna make you less desirable and appear lazy. This is only gonna show low self-worth or apathy. Imagine walking around with ungroomed nails, ungroomed hair, lack of effort in your appearance, poor fitting clothes or dull washed out clothes. And also a common thing, women looking like they just rolled out of bed. How is this going to be attractive to a woman or a man? While beauty is subjective, effort and appearance is going to show self-respect, pride in appearance and how you show up, and men will often notice that. Also, when you take care of yourself, like you don't need your muscles popping and you don't need an etched out six pack. When you don't even have to speak and how you carry yourself just showcases your discipline or your hard work or you showing up for yourself, of course, so many people are gonna notice that. Don't be intimidated by the people that constantly want more when it comes to their physical health. Not just their physical appearance, but I do believe when you feel good, then you will look good. When you feel good from the inside because you're taking care of your insides, you're full of energy, you're nurtured, you're nourished, you're hydrated, you are going to have more energy to put into your looks. Also, you're going to carry yourself and show up in the best way just because you feel better about yourself. You could still look good and feel terrible about yourself. There's still so many beautiful women that they could do their hair, they could have a filter on, and they are still suffering from insecurity and comparison and envy and jealousy on the inside. So I truly believe when you feel good, then you will look good. So my ladies, I really want you to pay attention to just putting more effort into your physical appearance. And that does not mean that you need makeup on 24/7. You can just do your hair, comb it, straighten it, put it in a slick back bun, have your nails clean. It doesn't have to be done with Gel X. I mean, I do Gel X. Does not have to be professionally done. Just make sure they're cleaned. You can do them at home. You can do a lot of self-care, physical upkeep from home, right? Make sure you are well groomed, you are hydrated, and your skin is smooth. If it's not smooth, start exfoliating and then making sure to put some baby gel or lotion on your body. Just going slow and loving on your body, because if you can't love your body and look good naked, feel good naked, how is anyone else supposed to really love you down, right? Love you down. The last thing we ever want is for our partners to ever look left or right. Also, that's a sign that you're with the wrong partner if they are not just only obsessed with you. But you also want to keep up with your upkeep, whether you're dating or in your marriage. You want to be in the gym, working on your body, transforming your body, feeling good about your body, even after kids, taking care of yourself and filling yourself back up. And doing it for you, because you are going to radiate such a different aura that is so sexually attractive to your husband, to your man, and it honestly is just for his eyes only. So why not elevate in that department of putting more care and effort into your physical appearance? Even getting dolled up every now and then, you don't need makeup on, but just do your hair, make sure your nails are well groomed, you put a nice outfit on, a dress, cute heels, and just, prance around for your man or prance around for yourself. Take yourself out, wear some pops of color, and just be the girly girl or whatever kind of woman you want to be, but just put more effort into her and start showing up as her at least a few times a week. Is another habit that makes women look less attractive: no emotional control or drive. This is honestly going to signal laziness in emotional maturity, letting your mood, drama, or energy dictate the day, which makes your mood or energy very unreliable or unpredictable to what your friends, your company, the people around you, your man, your partner, your friends, your families are going to experience from you. For me, I just try and think about my higher self every single morning and what I want to put out into the world. I like to check myself, refill my cup, or take space when I know that my mood is off, and then come out into the world and give my bubbly good energy. And I love to fill people up. I love to leave people with advice, with love, with energy, a lasting impression, whether they're meeting me for the first time or they've just known me for a while. So it's really important to check yourself and not let your negative emotions, mood, or energy rub off on the people around you. The visible effects and signs are just going to show overreactions, messiness, and clinginess. And as much as women think that being toxic or a little bit of toxic is attractive and stimulates a man, quality men are emotionally intelligent and self-aware, tend to be repelled by chaos and drawn to grounded, emotionally stable women. Being emotionally aware of yourself and knowing how to pull yourself together and still show up is so attractive.